Right, good afternoon. Welcome to HIIT Yoga this afternoon. Let's just get ourselves warm. So we'll start with a little, very gentle jog, or just a lifting up of the heels. Just let the arms kind of swing by the side. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. And just having a general awareness of your core. So pulling the belly button back towards the spine. Good, okay. Right, let's take the feet wide and just push the knee up diagonally across the body towards the chest. Just get those legs moving, warming up into the thighs. Good, we go. Starting to get moving. So I hope you're all well today. Starting to see the back of the snow now. And soon we'll be heading into spring. Woohoo! Okay, let's bring the feet wide. Plant them firmly on the floor, and then we'll swing through the body. So twisting at the waist and just grounding into the feet, keeping these shoulders down away from the ears, and let the arms swing and wrap around the body. So you're trying to keep the hips forward and just getting as much swing as you can through the arms and the waist. Excellent. Okay. Good morning if you've just joined us. Hello. Okay, so a few more swings, and then we'll come back to the middle, and we'll just take some nice big shoulder rolls. So really slowly and really mindfully. So we're always trying to be mindful of our movement, but I guess even more so when we're doing our yoga-based moves. Just really feeling into the body. And then let's bring the shoulders forwards this time, or just reverse it. If you were already coming forward, you can go backwards. And see if you can slow it down. Sometimes it's hard to slow it down. We're used to moving quickly, aren't we? Getting things done as quickly as possible. So when we have to slow it down, it can be a bit challenging sometimes. Okay, so we've got the feet are quite wide already. Let's take the hands on the hips and start to roll through. And of course you can make this circle with the hips as big or as small as you want. If you've got limited movement through the hips, then you might want to keep it small. Otherwise, you can increase the circle, and then as you push the hips forward, you get that lovely back extension, just being really gentle on the back. And let's take it back the other way, keeping the feet nicely grounded into the mat. Lovely. One more time round. And then let's just let the arms hang in front, and we'll just slowly take a little bend into the knees, just a very tiny one, and just kind of rolling down. Try and let the head go. See if you can get the fingertips to brush the floor, and then opening up into the lower back, relaxing head and shoulders. Now see if you can bring the palms of the hands down onto the floor. And of course, if you need to bend your knees, that's fine. Looking through the legs, bend the knees and slowly come back onto fingertips, keeping the shoulders and head heavy, rolling up gently, stacking each vertebra one on top of the other. Big roll of the shoulders at the top. Let's inhale the arms up, reach up towards the ceiling, hold on to one wrist, pull yourself gently across, stretching under the arm and into the side of the body, and then push into the foot. So push into if you're leaning to your left, push into your right foot. And really increase that stretch. Feel what that does when you push into the heel of the foot. Come back to the center and over across to the other side. And again, pushing down that leg on the side that you're stretching. And then gently back to the middle. Lovely. Okay, we're just going to do a little bit more stretching before we continue. We're going to go from side to side. So bring the feet out slightly. and just changing across from one leg into the other, nice and slowly, being very careful of your knees. Just doing what feels good. Of course, if there's any exercises that for any reason cause you any kind of discomfort, pain, or just generally don't feel right, then don't do them. And you can always substitute them for something else. That's absolutely fine. Okay, let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll heel toe the feet back in. And again, just kind of take a little jog, just shaking out the legs. Let's start to move the arms, pull the belly in, keep the shoulders relaxed. Push the knees up higher if you want, otherwise keep them down. Just a few more seconds. Okay, arms feeling nice and warm. Yes, good. Right, we'll crack on with our intervals. I seem to have a little circle theme going on today, so you'll see all will become clear as we go through. So we're going to start off with our feet very wide, but just make sure you're not too wide, so you don't want to be slipping. And we're gonna this movement that we were just doing in the warm-up, the side to side lunge, we're using this kind of movement. And again, just work within your own sort of capabilities. And we're gonna introduce a circle. So we're gonna circle round and up. And then as we shift the weight over, we're coming down. And again, shifting through, circling up and round, down. Good. And then what you're trying to do is make that circle kind of bigger as you stretch the arms, and also go deeper in the legs and transferring the weight across. So really slowly, this one. And then as you brush the fingers on the floor, if you can, you're getting lower in the legs. And if you can't, that's okay. You can just make the circle a little bit smaller, it's fine. And let's try it back in the other direction. Going around the other way, reaching up, stretching at the top, trying to get low in the legs as you brush the fingertips across the floor in your circle. Good. So you're kind of trying to keep a bend in the knee at all times, really. So as you come up even, you're sort of transferring across. And as you come down with the arms, that's when you're getting really deep in the legs. Okay, so it's a slow movement, but it's one that you need to really think about what's happening in your body, and it's quite intense in the legs. Okay, what else are we going to do? So we're going to bring the feet a little bit wider, and we're going to go for a squat, and then we're going to make a circle with the leg or the foot, if that makes sense. Squat down, and then imagine it's like you're kind of drawing a circle with the toes. So you're circling from the hip, you're keeping your legs straight and your toes pointed. And again, if this is challenging with the balance, just make that circle smaller. Or if you want to make it more challenging, make that circle bigger. You could really like go to town on this one and sweep that leg up and round, do some kind of karate kick with it if you want. Otherwise, you're just kind of circling, pointing the toe, drawing a circle on the floor. That makes sense. Okay, one more. And rest. So again, quite intense in the legs. Okay, we're ready for our circles. Okay, bear with me. I've got, you know when you feel like you're going to sneeze? But I don't think I am. I think it's going to be one of those ones. Okay, right. So we're starting with our feet wide. We're doing our side-to-side lunges with the circle. Okay, so we'll go to the right first. Circling across, up, transferring over, round and down. And just keep going. Really pushing down into the legs. Stretching the arms, bending the knees, seeing if you can brush the floor with the fingertips. 5 seconds. Good, and rest. So, just take some nice deep breaths. Keep those legs moving. Okay, so we're going to bring our feet wide again, not quite as wide this time. We're going to squat down, draw a circle with the foot. Okay, let's go. So try to keep that leg straight as you circle, and then a nice big squat in between. So you're really working into the hip here, and then if you can bring your leg higher, go for it. Nearly there. One more. And rest. Good. Okay. So nice deep breaths. So we're going back now to our wide stance, and this time we'll go across to the left of our circles. Let's go. Reaching up, circling round, all the way down. Good. Arms nice and long. Nice and slowly. Remember, slow it down. Really feel that in the legs. Stretching up. A few more seconds. And rest. Lovely. Okay, so have a little breather. One more round. Okay, so feet wider than hips. We're going to squat down and draw circles with the toes. And let's go. Good, so really working on your balance here as you lift the leg. Good, 5 seconds left. And rest, well done. Take a breather. Have a drink. Okay, right. Whew, getting quite hot now. Okay, so just take a bit more recovery time, and I'll talk you through the next 2 exercises. So we're going to do, this time we're going to bring our feet quite close together. In fact, very close together. And we're going to do a squat from here. So as always, pushing the hips back, keeping knees above the ankles. We're going to make a circle again. We're going to bring the arms in and circle up. As you come up, so it's up to you. You can keep the feet flat, or as you reach up, lift the heels. So you're challenging your balance again. Reach up, lift the heels, circle down, reach up. You can pin your knees together, stick your hips back, and come nice and low in that squat. Keep the knees stuck together. Good. So trying to come up on to the toes, and then sometimes if you speed it up, it's actually easier with the balance. Okay, so that's our first exercise. Oh, sorry. And then we're going to combine that with a single leg squat, and there's a couple of options for this. So what we're aiming to do, and I'll show you from the side, is you can lift up one leg and then you're going to bend the standing leg and touch down to the floor. So that's the harder version, touching down, pushing into your standing leg, bending and straightening, or lift one leg but keep the toes on the floor. And then same thing, bend and touch down. And then as you come up, you can lift that knee up. Bring the foot down, bend the standing leg. So you're still taking all of the weight onto one leg, but you're balancing on the toes. So toes come down, touch the floor, lift the knees. Toes down, touch the floor, lift the knees, okay? Otherwise, keep the leg up the whole time. Okay. So we start with this one. Circle through, come up on toes, down and up. And then we'll go into our single leg squat. Okay, right, so feet nice and close. Pin the knees together. And ready to squat down. So let's go. Circling and lifting the heels as you come up. And that really works into the feet and the ankles and the calves as well. And then keeping those arms lovely and long, stretching up. Good. Just a couple more. And rest. Okay, so for the next one, we'll work on our right leg first, which means we're going to be lifting our left leg. So remember, you've got the option to keep the toes down, and you're going to touch down with your right hand, bending the right leg. So bending the standing leg. So touch down, and then as you come up, lift that knee, or just keep it up the whole time. And this is one, again, whoops, you don't need to rush it. It's definitely a challenge for the balance. And rest, give that leg a shake. So these rounds today, they're kind of slower, but they're quite intense, aren't they? In the old legs. Okay, right, so back to our knees together, feet together, circling. So we're going to touch down, circle through, lift the toes. It's not the toes, lift the heels. Stretch the arms up. Good, so keep it going. We've got just over 5 seconds. And rest. So final round, this time we're working on our left leg. We've still got over 10 seconds to rest. Okay, so we're going to get ready. We're going to be lifting the right one. You can keep those toes down if you need to. And bending left. Bring the knee up as you come up, touch down. Or keep that leg up the whole time. And really feel the strength in the standing leg. Woo. If at any point you need to put your foot down, then do so. 5 seconds. And rest. Well done. Feeling that one. Okay, so again, just take a little break. Bear with me one moment. Don't worry. Okay. Right, sorry about that. Okay, so just breathing. Let's come into the centre of the mat. Let's take our hands to heart centre, close the eyes, and just take some lovely slow deep breaths. And relax through the shoulders, gently pulling in at the belly, everything into the core. Soften the knees, but really keep those legs nice and strong. And just feel where the feet are making contact with the mat. Spreading the toes, and if you want, you can just circle through the soles of your feet, just feeling all of the edges making contact with the mat. Good. Okay, open the eyes, bring the hands down. We'll come to the front of the mat. And we're going to inhale, arms up. So let's take a nice stretch here. Just looking up and a very, very gentle baby back bend before we fold forward. So reaching forward with the arms. You can bend the knees slightly. And just let the fingertips brush the floor. And of course, if you need to bend your knees here, that's fine. And let the head hang, so look towards your knees. Feel that stretch down the backs of the legs, pushing the hips away, relaxing the shoulders. And now just look forward. So you're trying to create a nice kind of straight, flat back position. Pin the knees together, so bring the feet and the knees together and bend the knees, pushing the hips back. So we're going to come back up into chair pose, lifting the arms so they're up in line with the ears, palms facing forwards and just looking forwards. So it's a really intense pose here. Take a breath here and then bring the hands down onto the waist. Keep your right foot where it is and step back with the left. And now just push to your back heel. Just take a nice stretch into the calf. So after those one-legged squats and those coming up onto tiptoes, feels really nice to stretch out the calf. Okay, so now I want you to take the weight into the front leg, into the right leg, coming right up onto the ball of the back foot. And then we're going to lift that back leg. So you can lift it just a tiny bit, or you can lift it all the way up into warrior three. You can keep your hands on your hips, or you can stretch and reach them out in front. Try and tighten into your core. So really become aware of the core and how that affects your balance. If you need to put the foot down at any time, do so, and then try again, holding this position. And then bring that back leg down into a kind of half stance. So not as wide as when we do our warriors or our normal lunges. Bring back heel down, straighten out the front leg and just twist the hips over the front leg. And now open up the chest. Let's interlace the fingers behind and stretch into the chest. Keep both legs straight. And then see if you can just leading with the chest, start to lean forward. And push into both legs. Now it's up to you here. You can take your head down towards your knee and let your arms come up and over. Or you can release your hands and bring them onto your hips or onto your thigh and just get that lovely stretch. Try and keep your hips straight. And try and keep your legs straight. You can take a little bend in the front knee if you need to. Try and keep the back long as well, looking forward and just really stretching into the legs. And then if you want, you can bring the hands down, head towards knee, take a breath here, and then bend that front knee as you slowly come up. So really nice stretch into the legs. Let's take the back foot to the front, so both feet forward. Again, inhale, arms up. Let's take a little gentle back bend and then folding forwards. Stretching down the legs and into the lower back. Now look forward, lengthen through the spine, bring your feet and your knees together, bend your knees, push your hips back, lift your arms into chair pose, hold it here for a moment. And this time we're going to keep the left leg forward, so hands onto the hips, left leg stays where it is, right leg comes back, and just push towards your back heel again and get that lovely calf stretch. Nice and long through the spine. Push, push, push. And then we're going to take the weight forward into our left leg. And then when you're ready, you're going to lift that back leg. You can lift it just a tiny bit if you need to, or you can bring it higher. Find your balance and then reach your arms out if you want to. Into warrior 3. And again, just hold it here. Take a few more breaths. And then when you're ready, just bring that back foot down. So again, it's a half stance here, fairly close. And straighten both legs. Let's interlace the fingers behind, stretching into the chest and the shoulders. Legs straight as we start to fold forwards. And then if you want, you can let the arms come up and over. Look towards your knee. And release the hands to bring them on the waist or the thigh. Lengthen through the spine, straighten into the legs. And if you want to bring your fingertips to the floor, you can. Keep the knees soft, but legs straight. And just feel that stretch. And then when you're ready, bend the front knee and slowly, slowly come all the way up. Lovely, well done. That's a really nice, intense stretch, that one. Okay. Right, let's bring our legs nice and wide, our feet wide. We'll turn the right foot to the right. We'll come into our warrior stance. So nice and solid and grounded and stable in the legs. So just take a moment to work on your leg position. Putting the right knee back. Keeping the hips to the front. Shoulders relaxed, and we'll bring the arms out into a lovely warrior 2. Arms nice and strong. Good. Trying to get them parallel to the floor and then pushing down into your right leg. Let's turn the right palm up and lift. Reverse warrior. Stretching into the side of the waist, looking up to the fingertips. Breathe in here. And then exhale. We'll bring the elbow onto the thigh, bring the other arm up and over, and then we get that lovely stretch on the left side of the body. So you can hold it here, or bring this top arm behind you. Couple of options here. See if you can get your fingers onto your thigh. Can you see my fingers there? Onto your thigh, or maybe just holding on to the back of your top. And then what happens is you get this lovely opening. The top shoulder comes back and you really feel that kind of opening and that stretching to the waist. Another option, this is quite intense, so definitely a bit more advanced, is to bring that back hand, bring the front arm under the thigh and see if you can clasp your fingers together. Takes you really deep in the legs. It also opens up the shoulder, but very, very intense in the leg. So this is called the bind, taking the bind. So you need to keep strong in both legs here, top shoulder back, and then release and slowly come up. Okay, just coming back to the middle. Let's clasp our hands behind again, shall we? And stretch into the chest and shoulders. And then we'll start to fold forward. So again, if you want, you can bring your head all the way down and let the arms, depending on how flexible your shoulders are, you might be able to get your arms to kind of come lower than mine. Or you can release your hands and place them on your thighs or on the floor. And just look through your legs. So stretching the backs of the legs, the lower back, relaxing the shoulders, and then slowly coming up onto fingertips, softening the knees, and gently and slowly rolling up through the spine again. Right, let's turn the left foot to the left. Again, coming into our warrior stance. So left knee pulled back, arms out, nice and strong, shoulders relaxed, core engaged. Push into both legs, turning the left palm up. When inhale, lift, reaching down the back leg, stretching through the left side. See if you can pull that top arm over, past the midline of the body. And then slowly coming back up. We'll take the left elbow onto the left thigh. And the right arm comes up and over, stretching, reaching, pushing down in the left leg. So remember, you can hold it here, or you can try the other option. So top arm comes round. We're just trying to get it onto the thigh here. Okay, pulling that shoulder back, nice and strong in the legs, opening up the chest towards the ceiling. And then if you want, you can take this arm, the front arm, under the thigh and hold hands with yourself, still keeping that top shoulder back and really feeling that intensity in the legs, especially the left leg, pushing towards your right leg still. And then take a breath and release and slowly, slowly come up. Well done. Good, really intense. Okay, we'll come down onto the floor. So just take a moment, take a few breaths, have a little rest if you want. You can sit back into a child's pose or however you want to rest. And then we're going to come onto hands and knees. So let's come with our knees beneath our hips and our hands beneath our shoulders. And we'll start with our cat-cow stretches. So arching the back and looking forward, breathing in. And then rounding the back, looking towards the tummy or the knees and tightening into the core as you exhale. And moving in time with your breath. So breathing into cat, or in cow, and exhaling into cat. Good, so a couple more times. Lovely, lovely fluid movement through the spine. Okay, wonderful. Right, so let's now stay in this position. We're going to work on the left leg. Bring your leg out. Extend your leg behind with your toes touching the floor, okay? So we want to try and keep the hips straight and the core engaged. So really think about drawing the belly button up towards the spine. And we're just going to lift and lower that back leg. So pushing the heel up and then the toe comes down. Keep going. Keeping the leg really straight. Pushing down to your heel. Good. Let's go for 5 more. Really feel that working into the glute, the buttock as you lift. 2 more. And 1 more. Okay. If it gets too much on your wrist, you can always come down into forearms. Okay. So keep that leg long, and you can either continue with this one, or we're going to bring it out to the side. This is quite an intense one. And you might not, maybe you can't get it quite all the way around. You might just bring it out a little bit. Let's see how you go. So leg out, trying to keep that leg straight and in. And actually that starts to work into the waist as well as in many, many other places. Particularly my other leg now. Good, so keeping the leg long, bringing it out and in. We're going to do 5 more. and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Oh, right. Let's just sit back, stretch out, bring the forehead down. Just take a moment. Oh, that's intense, isn't it? Okay, so when you're ready, just nice and slowly come back up. Okay, so now we'll do something different before we go on to the other side. We are going to push back into a kind of child's pose, puppy dog pose. And then from here, we'll lift up into a downward facing dog. Just feel that lovely stretch down the backs of the legs. So now we're going to bring the weight forward into our plank. And as we do that, really tighten through the core. Knees come down. Let's push the hips back again. Keep those toes tucked though, because we're going to come back up to our down dog. Hold it here for a moment. Walk through the heels if you want to. And then again, slowly push forward into your plank. Tighten through the tummy. Knees come down. Again, push back. So you can carry on like this, bringing the knees down here. Up into down dog. Really stretch it out. Now shift forward into plank. The alternative is you just tap the knees down, bring them back up, push back. So you're keeping the knees up, but you're bending your legs, and then lift the hips into down dog. So you either bring the knees down like we did before, or you just tap them down. So let's come forward into our plank, nice and strong through the core, shoulders away from the ears. Now tap the knees down, push back, bending the knees, hips towards heels, and then hips up into down dog. Sorry, I'm getting my top in my mouth. And again, plank, hold. So really strengthen through your plank. Knees, touch them down. Now push your hips back and lift the down dog. Couple more times. Plank, nice and strong. Knees down and up. Push back, lift hips, and forward to plank. This time we'll bring the knees down. We'll sit the hips back and we'll rest for a moment. Okay, and then slowly bring the head up. I'm going to change sides so I can do the other leg, otherwise I'm not going to have space. Okay, just take a little break here. You can roll through the shoulders, you can roll through the wrists, whatever you need to do. Okay, so let's come back onto all fours. We're going to do the other leg. So, right leg now, I think. Extend the leg out, nice and straight, leading with the heel, up and down, up and down. Try and keep your hips straight so you're not opening up to the front. Try and keep them down, just lifting and lowering that leg. Good. Let's do another 5. Really long with the leg. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So now we're taking the leg out to the side and back in again, keeping it long and out and in. Good. Keep going. Let's do another 5. Keep the leg long. 3 more. And 2. And 1. Excellent. And rest. Oh, I like that. Super intense. Okay, give the wrists a little break. And then when you're ready, come back to all fours. So we'll start off, push hips back towards heels, keep the toes tucked. Really stretch through your arms and shoulders here. We're going to lift up the hips into down dog. That's it, hold it here, feel that stretch. Now transfer the weight forward into your plank, nice and strong. Bringing the knees down, hips come back, and we bring them up again. So remember, you could do that version with the knees down, or you can just tap them down. So coming into your plank now, tap the knees down, lift them up, bend those legs and push the hips back, and then lift the hips into down dog. Hold for a second, moving it forward into plank, nice and strong in the core. Tap the knees down, bend the legs, push the hips back and stretch through the arms, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Hold it for a moment and forward into plank. Let's do 2 more times. Tap the knees, sit back, lift, plank. Good. And again, tap the knees, sit back, lift the hips, and plank. I think we should do another one because I'm just enjoying it too much. Tap the knees, sit back, lift the hips, and plank. Good. Okay. And rest. Take a little breather. Well done. Yeah, I know. You do start to feel it a bit in the wrists, don't you? So you can, if you want, just take the hands and push them down, the tops of the hands, just nice and gently, push them into the floor, and you just get a bit of relief from that intensity in the wrists. Okay, so let's sit down on our mat. We'll take a moment, let's just do a little forward fold, have a stretch. Oh, that feels good. So stretching into the lower back here and the legs, holding onto your shins or your ankles or your toes, whatever you can reach. So remember, it's not about forcing it, it's just about a bit of gentle persuasion for your muscles and tendons and everything that's involved in stretching. Close your eyes, relax your head, and breathe into it. Okay, right, so time for one more exercise. We're going to bend the knees and balance on the heels into our lovely boat pose, which we all know and love. Okay, and so just find your balance here, keeping the feet down. And then we're going to bring the arms out and lean back. Try and keep the back nice and straight, feeling it in the core. And then take a breath here and release. On the next inhale, we're going to lift the body and the arms, stretch up, and then as you exhale, lean back, keeping really strong in the core. Breathe in, lift the arms, lift the body, breathe out, lean back, and again, breathe in, reaching up with the arms, breathe out, arms come forward, try and keep that back as straight as possible, breathing in, lifting the arms, breathing out, reaching forward. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, lift, exhale, lean back, tighten into the core. Last one, inhale and exhale. Good, and rest, well done. Okay, just lie back and take a little hug of the knees. Rock from side to side. You can do a little forward and backwards if you want. Just rocking forwards and then bringing the legs over. Just get a really nice stretch and then kind of massage into the lower back. Okay, and then just come back up in your own time. If you need to roll onto your side to do that, then please do. And let's just come facing the front. We'll extend one leg out and we'll reach down towards the ankle or the toes with the same arm. And then if you want, you can bring the other one up and over. So we're stretching out the leg, but also the side of the body. Just leaning into it. And then slowly coming up. Taking hold of now the The same foot, bending the knee, stretching into the thigh. Take a few breaths here. And let's change legs. Extending the other leg out, reaching down towards ankle or feet. And just leaning into it. Other arm comes up and over. So really notice your breathing now as well, just slowing everything down. And then coming back up, let's bend that leg, take hold of the foot and just gently push it. So you stretch into the quads. Lovely. Okay, well done. So let's take a moment coming into a comfortable seated position. Closing the eyes. And just take a couple of lovely big breaths in and just let them go. And just feel your body starting to relax. Let go of any tension in the head and the face. Relaxing down through the neck and shoulders. Softening into the hips, relaxing the buttocks and the thighs. Just allowing the knees to lower down to the floor. Relaxing all the way down to hands and feet and fingers and toes. And then slowly bringing the palms of your hands together, fingertips touching. Just taking a moment here to notice where each of the sets of fingers are touching each other. And just really enjoy that sense of stillness and calmness. And let's see if we can take that with us into the rest of our day and our week. So we'll take one more breath in together. Opening the eyes. Thank you very much. Namaste. Have a great week. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed HIIT Yoga.